everyone, it's Leia. I'm back with another math video. And happy 4th and final week of camp. The summer is almost over. So for this week, I wanted to keep a theme of different shapes, their perimeters, areas, and volumes. So today we're probably just going to cover going over a few shapes and their perimeters and areas, and then later on in the week we'll talk about volume. So like some really common shapes we know are the circle, triangle, square, rectangle, and so on. And when we're talking about perimeter is basically how long the length of the shape is total. So for the square, it's this side plus this side plus this side plus this side. For the triangle, it's this side plus this side plus this side. For the rectangle, it's this side plus this side plus this side plus this side. And for the circle, it's a little bit different. You have to actually figure out the measurement of the whole line that forms the circle. So let's talk about that. For triangles, squares, and and rectangles, you basically, the perimeter, I'm gonna call it P, is just side plus side plus side in case for a triangle, or plus side in the case of a square or rectangle. And you might be like, oh, you have to add 4 things, that's so much work. But there's actually a really handy trick. For what we call equilateral triangles, where every side of the triangle is the same length, so I'm signaling that there with those little ticks that they're all equal in length. Let's say they're 3, each side is 3. You can just say 3 times 3, because each side is 3 and there are 3 sides, and that gets you a perimeter of 9. Now let's try a square example. For the square, we know that what makes a square is that all the sides are equal, right? So we can do the same thing. To get perimeter, let's say one side is 4. That means they're all 4. So we can just say 4 times 4, because each side is 4 in length and there are 4 sides. So we get a perimeter of 16. Now for the rectangle, it's a tiny bit different, because a rectangle is different from a square in that only the opposite sides are equal in length. So this side is equal to this side, and this side is equal to this side. So in this type of problem, I have to give you 2 lengths. Let's say this side is 2, and this one is 6. How do we find the perimeter? Well, you can sort of look at it like this. You can say 2 times the height of the rectangle plus 2 times the length of the rectangle. And that will get you 2 times 2 plus 2 times 6, because there are 2 sides that are a length of 2 and 2 sides that are a length of 6. Now that perimeter will be 4 plus 12, which gets us 16. Awesome. Really easy, right? Now I showed you how to find the perimeter of an equilateral triangle. Now let me show you one of a triangle where not all the sides are equal. In that case, you need to know all the side lengths. Let's say it's 2, 4, and 6. Again, you'll just add them up, no problem. And that will get you 12. And that's how you find the perimeter of triangles, squares, and rectangles. Now let's talk about area of those 3 things. Now, area of any shape, whether it's a circle, triangle, square, or rectangle, is just the inside of the shape. How much space is that taking up? That's what we're trying to find out when we talk about area. So let's start with a triangle. How do you find the area of a triangle? Well, the equation for the area of a triangle is actually 1/2 times the base length of the triangle. This is B times H. And you're like, what is H? What is H? Well, H is actually the height of the triangle. So when you drop a perpendicular line to the base, that will be your height. So when you multiply those three things together, you get your area of the triangle. Let's try a little practice one, shall we? Let's say in this problem the area is the height is 5 and the base is 7. Well, we know our area equation is 1/2 base times height. So that would be 1/2 times 7 times 5. And that area will be, will actually be an awkward number. It'll be 17.5, my bad. Because 35 divided by 2 is 17.5. Awesome. And then let's talk about the area of a square. The area of a square is actually my favorite one because the equation is simply b squared. Now what is b? B is all the sides, any side. And b can be any variable. It could be a squared, c squared, d squared, but I like to call it b for base. So let's say in this problem b equals 7. Well, our area is 7 squared. And that's just 7 times 7, so, 7 times 7 is 49. Awesome. Now let's do the rectangle, the area of a rectangle. Well, in this case, it's actually also really simple. The area of a rectangle is simply the length of the rectangle times the width of the rectangle. And I like to think of this as the length and this is the width, but it really doesn't matter how you look at it. Again, you could call it A times B, Z times Y. It doesn't matter what you call it, as long as you're multiplying this times this. So let's say in this case, the length of the rectangle is 2 and the width is 15. The area will be 30. Awesome, no problem. I'm sure you guys will do awesome with this. One thing I do want you to keep in mind though, when you are finding the area of something, or the perimeter for that matter, perimeter will always be centimeters, meters, kilometers, however much. The area will always be centimeters squared, meters squared, kilometers squared. Because if you look at this, for example, let's say the length is 12 meters and the width is 5 meters. Well, when you multiply them together to get the area, not only are you multiplying the 12 and the 5 together to get 60, you're multiplying the 2 meters together. It becomes meters squared. And for perimeter, you're simply adding them together. So let's say we had to add 12 meters and 5 meters. We would get 17 meters. Awesome. So now let's talk about circles, because they can be kind of tricky. Oh no.